लाइफ ऐसा चांस बार बार नहीं देता. डिमोनेटाइजेशन 50 साल में एक बार होता है.
The Indian government declares invalidation of 500 and 1000 rupee notes at only a few hours' notice. This decision threatens to change the lives of many Indians as they know it. When a director of Indian mainstream cinema, as critically acclaimed as Anurag Kashyap, decides to make a film centering this incident, it is rather anticipated. His vocal anti-establishment social media reputation also helps it along. Let us have a look at what this film is like. The movie begins 2 months before the infamous demonetization. It follows a middle-class family in Mumbai. Sarita is a Marathi bank employee, the prime breadwinner of a family. Her husband, Sushant, a Keralite, is mostly seen playing his guitar and an occasional game of carom. The film uses multilingual dialogues very effectively to establish this.
काहीच नाही करत तो.
It swiftly switches between different local languages and accents which sound authentic yet do not fall down the slippery slope of caricature.
दो जो दोन है. हटो.
Sushant and Sarita's mundane, repetitive life is interrupted when Sarita keeps finding money from her kitchen drain, which starts a rather bizarre repetitive cycle. How Sarita decides to tackle the situations that come her way is the main focus of this film. This incident and its after effects alone would be sufficient as a story plot. But soon after it, demonetization is introduced through a very chilling scene.
500 का नोट गया. किधर गया? 1000 का नोट गया.
The director's movies have often featured many contemporary real-life events before this. MMS incident or Akhlaq's lynching. Yet, these have rarely had an equal influence over the outcome of the film. Here, however, demonetization plays a larger role in determining the fate of the story. As a result, exactly how the event is portrayed becomes very important. Unfortunately, the depictions of the common people's misfortune remain limited to shots of long lines at the bank and a typical old helpless lady.
उनके हाथ जोड़िए जिनको वोट दिया था आपने. Next.
People excited at the perspective of Achhe Din and people clicking selfies with the new currency constitute some of the satirical scenes, but whether they could even be perceived as satire depends heavily on how familiar the audience is with the director's personal political opinions. The film introduces a character Reddy as an economic criminal who perishes by the end of the film. The other, a politician, is a black money holder who meets similar ends. By the end, the message the director intended to put across regarding demonetization is not quite clear. The film had begun brilliantly nonetheless. It was very much like a modern version of the popular 70s Hindi movies about the struggles of the Indian middle class life. Sarita's monotonous life, her relation with her husband, and neighbors are established effortlessly. Every moment manages to hold your attention with a feeling that something different is going to happen next. These are testament to Anurag Kashyap's abilities as a filmmaker. Intelligent dialogue, gripping sound design, occasional catchy jazz beats, and long takes have helped hold the tension in these scenes. Female characters often play important roles in Anurag's films. Here too, Sarita is one of such steady characters. Saiyami Kher, who had started her Bollywood career in Rakesh Meher's disastrous Mirza, finds a platform to establish herself as an actor. Parthveer Shukla's Samir is a great example of using a child artist maturely. Sushant's character, however, becomes a bit questionable. Despite being a jobless husband, he's rather lovable. The character is quick to gain the audience sympathy. In fact, by the end of the film, he even becomes more responsible towards his family as it stitches back together. This feel-good conclusion is rather uncharacteristic to Anurag's films. The movie has a cliché dream sequence reminiscent of a particular famous film made 50 years ago. It even has a boring flashback scene that makes you wonder whether it really is an Anurag Kashyap film. After demonetization, the movie seems to lose its rhythm. The domestic tension between Sarita and her husband isn't quite convincing. Their neighbors start behaving weird, even parts of the plot seem unconvincing. Altogether, the film fails to be the kind of experience we have grown to associate with an Anurag Kashyap film. The typical claustrophobia is absent, along with any alternative strong statements. It had the potential to be as brilliant as No Smoking. Probably trying to merge a story heavily dependent on dark comedy with demonetization didn't quite work out. Despite being a good movie, Choked, Paisa Bolta Hai hardly measures up to the standards of an Anurag Kashyap film. Promote good films and discard the bad ones to the bin.